Since we have limited time, like maybe keep it semi-brief. We'll come back to it in another episode maybe at some point, but like just walk me through the various stages of your life, how you ended up in Arkansas, how you ended up at UCA, and then maybe career changes along the way that got you to the point where I'm going all in on my own, doing the entrepreneurial thing. You know?
Okay. To keep it brief, but also hit the high points.
Yeah.
In high school, I took accounting.
Okay.
In Texas, they have this thing called UIL, which is where you get to compete against other schools. Arkansas has it with football. Texas has it with band, academics, football, track, all the other stuff. And so they have like a UIL accounting team. So my junior year, I studied, and I was like one question away from qualifying for state, and the people that beat me won state.
This is in Texas.
And
Texas is
in our division. In our division, fair.
Okay.
So it was Argyle. They beat me. So my senior year, I recruited a couple friends. One of them is a CPA, or he's getting his license now. If he sees this, hopefully he doesn't see it, I think by the time my business is done, he will be a partner.
Okay. Well.
I really enjoy. His name's Cameron.
Okay.
And then Jake, he's also a really smart guy. His uncle was a general manager for the Green Bay Packers. So that was
Go
cool.
Packers.
Yeah.
Big Packer fan over here. So.
But
that's wild.
Anyway, they were awesome guys. We ended up my senior year going to state, and we got first, second, and third. Our team was the second team overall in all the divisions.
Okay.
Minus one question, we would have been first in all of the entire state. And we're a smaller school. We had like a graduating class of 130.
Okay.
But Lufkin, they're a big 6A school, and they beat us by one. But from there, I went to UCA. They offered me free school, essentially. It's hard to turn down.
Totally.
I told people if I don't get scholarships, I'll be a welder. I don't believe in paying for school with debt. I think it's stupid, especially with how many ways there are to make money now. Unless you're going into a field that requires a degree and licensure, like attorney or doctor, I don't recommend it. My kids, that's a different story.
I resonate with that, though. Go on.
And then, so we're at UCA, met Austin. I went to Fair & Company. They have 3 offices here in Little Rock, Conway, Heber. Nick Fair, great guy. I love that guy. We still talk, even though I don't work there anymore. Austin worked there first.
Okay.
And then Austin convinced them to hire somebody fresh out of college. They had never done that before.
Wow.
And for good reason. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I spent 4 years here.
That's understandable.
Austin went out on his own. They had talked about moving him to senior and giving him like a more of a manager role at the Conway office. That didn't develop, and so he left. I stayed for another year and a half. I found out that we were having a child and my wife wanted to stay home, and so I needed to make more money to pay for stuff, right? And I was like, hey, give me a written plan on how to be a better accountant or how to make more money, or give me something. And I never got anything. So I informed them in January that I have to leave if nothing happened, and then May came, and then I left. They pay me severance, so Fair & Company's great.
Yeah, very fair.
Yeah, pay me a month severance. I made them a lot of money, so
That's awesome.
Give and take.
Yeah.
Realization was 120%.
Yeah.
I wear that badge of honor.
Let's go.
But, so yeah, I went out on my own for necessity rather than that's what I wanted to do. Part of me still doesn't really want to run a firm. I mean, it's just a lot of stress. I think I handle stress well, but a life is a lot simpler when you're an employee.
Totally.
And now, like, we just hired 2 new people. Do we have the revenue to sustain 2 new people? As of today, no. But in 3 months, maybe, hopefully. Yeah. So It's just a lot, and we need the 3 people to get the work that we currently have backlogged through the door. There's just a lot of things going on. But yeah, I enjoy what I do now. It's not doing the tax returns per se. I just get the work in and get it out. Austin does a lot of the technical work. I review, but his main job is quality control and get the work in and out.
When you say audit control, it's not like audits, it's
Quality control.
Yeah.
Making sure our stuff is right and we're doing proper planning and things like that.
So in terms of like your hardwiring or your, I don't know, natural gifts and skills, you would not have seen yourself in a role like this. I know at one point you mentioned ministry, I want to say. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like one of our previous conversations. But it sounds like you're kind of an unlikely entrepreneur in some ways. You know, it's kind of, but maybe rebut that. You know, do you think there's still something in you that makes you, I mean, obviously it's made you pretty successful. Like you've been able to pull this off pretty well, even not necessarily intending to go into it as fast as maybe you initially decided to. But
I would say I'm a business person.
Sure.
I'm a businessman, if that's the title I can wear. I always like to look at things and monetize, or how can I monetize or make it more efficient. I don't necessarily think that means I should run an accounting firm.
Sure.
But with the landscape that it is today, especially in our area, it's really easy to scoop up business and wow the clients with experience and response time, and for what the price is, they'd be super satisfied. And I just, probably in a different industry it makes more sense. But
what makes more sense?
My position as an entrepreneur in a different industry other than accounting would probably make more sense. I don't know what industry that'd be. Maybe I'm exactly where God wants me to be.
Right.
But running an accounting firm would not have been one of my big guesses in high school.
What do you think as you've gone into the process, as you've, this last 13 months or whatever it's been, what do you think in terms of what you've learned about yourself or what you already knew about yourself? What are some of the key qualities that you would point to that allow you to have the success that you've had? Personality-wise,
I think if you can't get motivated by people who are successful, then you probably should quit ahead of time. Like Alex Ramosi, I don't agree with everything. I don't pump nicotine or caffeine, but boy, does he get me motivated.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, like, my screen time is down 3 or 4 hours than what it has been, so I'm just more productive during the day. Another motivating factor is fear. Fear will get you moving quick.
Well, having a kid too.
Yeah,
right?
that's part of the fear.
Yeah.
Part of the fear, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that balance close to zero, it's like, oh God, well, if it takes cold calling, that's what it'll be.
Right.
One big thing right now that we're doing that nobody else, I think, has ever done, at least in the area from what I can tell, is hosting an event held by CPAs for advisors. It's usually the opposite. Usually advisors hold events for CPAs. And so I'll gauge the success on that and let you know how that works out. But
when is that?
That'll be December 4th.
December 4th. Is that here?
Yeah, it'll be here. There's a event space back there.
Cool.
From 11:30 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna, you probably have this. Advisor says, hey, I want to send you business, but you need to send me business.
Right.
And then you say, well, for every CPA, there's 60 advisors. So if you can promise to send me 60 times the amount of leads as the other advisors, I will gladly engage you in this relationship. I already have 10 advisors as clients, but forget them. I'll engage you with this symbiotic relationship. And that will never work. That's the only route that advisors know how to work. Not some, I'm generalizing here. Stereotyping, if you will. The key component that we found is we get looped into the discovery or prospecting of the advisor for new clients that are business owners. We see the return. We do an evaluation on retirement tax efficiency, proper tax setup, structuring. I mean, we saved a pharmacy probably $30,000 this year, and that's because an advisor looped us in. There were some inefficiencies on the retirement side. What did we not do? Tell the client, hey, all this stuff is messed up that your advisor is advising you on. You need to dump them. Instead, we told the advisor, this is what you should probably do, and tell the client. And then they tell the client. So they reestablish trust. Now, you can get into a whole ethical field of that, but I mean, the client's getting the benefit no matter what, whether that comes from my mouth or the advisor. Right. And then likewise, or on the other side of that, if we get introduced to a client like that, and this is the prospective advisor, well, we're going to shred the other advisor's strategy probably, if there's anything wrong with it. Sometimes there's not. But that's far and few in between, because most advisors don't want to have anything to do with the tax side.
Right.
So.
Okay, so there's in terms of what you all are doing, that would be unique.
Yeah.
What else? What else comes to mind? In terms
I would say maintaining professional exposure. Like, we want people to look at us and still think we're professional.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do that and maintain the casual feel.
Okay.
So, like, how do I say this and not insult anybody? I am probably not going to post on my business page stuff with like me in sweats, like, unless it's like a comedic post,
right,
making fun of myself,
right,
and maintaining a professional page. But at the same time, our content, our brand voice is not white, black suit, black tie.
Right.
So there is a balance there. People care about talking to a person. People care about probably the biggest benefit that I have is being hyper-focused on a specific area and trying to maintain excellence in that specific area. When I was an employee, it was working on taxes. Now that I'm a business owner, there's a lot of different things you can look at, and that's hard for me. But when we were developing client experience, I think we knocked that out of the park. You go through each stage of the process. How can you make this better? What checklists can we implement here, if any? What are all the things that need to be on that checklist for the client? How many times do they get this email that it's not pestering? Down and down and down through the list. Like, on the flip side of that, what are your clients' pain points? Like, how are you going to get that data? How long is it going to take you to build your ideal client profile? If you're not going to invest that time up front and try to do it later, it could be really costly.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like systems thinking is really important. What I'm hearing you say with the process development and all that stuff, it sounds like almost a specialty at this point for you. Like, as you've drilled into the various areas of your business, it's like, I mean, you're hiring people who are specialists in the tax. I mean, you're going to be the reviewer and be the end all be all for a while probably, but then it's like, how do you build systems that allow the business to run itself one day, and preserve the client experience,
Yeah, and
not everyone thinks that way. Not everyone thinks in systems.
Well, it also depends on what their end goal is. If their end goal is to never hire anybody and just have 50 hours of work a week to do,
right,
and X amount of clients and X amount of money, that's fine. I don't care about the money and how much money we make. I just want it to be a lot. I'm not going to spend it per se. I'm probably going to reinvest it.
Right.
But my goal is to build something that's really cool.
Yep.
How do you make accounting cool? I don't know. But I want to build something that's really cool, really unique. And I think I'm still the youngest CPA firm owner in Arkansas.
Okay.
I think there's a guy that's a year or two ahead of me in Hot Springs.
Cool. Okay.
But my goal is to just do something that's important and fixes a lot of people's issues.
It sure does. Yeah, sure does. So needed. What would you say is your biggest, I don't know, maybe two sides of it, your biggest win so far and your biggest challenge over 13 months of full time?
I would say there's a couple of really big wins.
Okay.
We ranked number 2 on Google listing, or top 3 every time. I think we're in the top 10 in the state of Arkansas on reviews on Google, so that really helps.
Are you
39?
Okay.
Not that much, but other people.
The bar is so low.
Where you used to work, I think they have 2,
right,
or 3,
right.
And that's not to say that clients don't appreciate and like.
Totally.
But how many of those reviews do I call people specifically and ask for reviews for anymore? None.
Wow.
A lot of them is, we built a really easy flow into asking reviews from our clients at the end of their experience.
Okay, wow.
And so it's automated.
Wow. It's huge.
So that's one really great thing. I'd probably say another one is we had a person reach out to us on Wednesday. They are a former Frost client. And that made me feel very, very happy because Frost is this large firm that has 40-something, 50-something partners.
Right.
And they charge a lot of money. And they are in one of the skyscrapers in Little Rock. And this person reviewed my website, my Facebook, and thought, this person probably has the same quality of return prep as we do. They just needed somebody who is more accessible. And so if that public perception is we have the same level of quality as Frost, that is a very big compliment to me.
Yeah.
So those are two really great things. And then, because the minds at Frost, I talked to one guy, and he's like an audit partner, and he knows a lot of the stuff on the retirement side as I do on tax. And I'm like, okay, wow, you're like sharp.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of other people like him there. So that's a really big compliment. Probably struggles and downsides. Whenever you're ambitious and you're building a business, it's really, you want to go fast. But in order to go fast, you have to take risk. And so as accountants, we're innately less risky.
Right.
So hiring Austin was difficult. Hiring these two guys up there now are difficult because you have X amount of cash. You're super pessimistic probably or realistic and thinking, yeah, if I don't close any new business through the rest of the year, I have to quit getting paid in November, and Austin has to quit getting paid in December. And this is back in August.
Right.
And now we've hired an additional 2 people, like after we got this space, plus having him on payroll. So it's very limited thinking, but getting past that, that's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens again every time you hire.
Sure.
Like those 2 guys
It's a
up there,
gamble.
I'm like, oh, should we do it? And it's like, Z, you have 9 boxes of documents. Is it worth your time to go through, unstaple all those bank statements, and then scan those in? Probably not.
Right.
So probably should hire somebody.
Right. Wow. In terms of the day-to-day or the week-to-week where, like there's wins and there's losses along the way. Entrepreneurship is really a roller coaster sometimes. What are strategies that you found personally, family-wise, obviously having a young family like yourself, like how do you surf those waves well? If you were talking to other entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, like what are things that have worked? What are things that have not worked? What comes to mind around that?
Yeah. Every time somebody calls you, that's not a close. Every time somebody has a meeting with you from the call, that's not a close. Every time you send out a proposal, that's not a close. Every time somebody calls and asks you about the proposal, that is not a close. When they accept the proposal, that's still not a close. When the money has hit your bank account, that is a close.
Amen to that.
Because you feel like you win a client 5 separate times,
Yes.
and it gives you this false optimism and false
relatable.
dopamine. So
Yes.
when the money hits the bank account, you have closed the business and closed the client. Until then, it's just on the board or just on whatever tracking thing you do.
Right.
Now, same thing with pessimistic side. Until the money's out of your bank account, it's not out of your bank account.
Sure.
One thing I did in January of this year is I set up a projection sheet of assuming we have this X amount of growth, these amount of clients, these types of clients, we're billing this much. If we increase our prices by this much, what are the different ways this could play out?
Scenarios, yeah.
And we're currently at the higher end side of things, and that was like this will never happen, but it would be fun to think about. And that was kind of the thing that happened. And with that said, that is with our industry, not necessarily. If I go open up a popsicle stand, probably don't do that. But if you're going into tax and accounting, the work is out there. If you are willing to build a business based on client experience instead of building it based on what you want, then the clients will come.
So true.
But yeah, the first 6 months is impossible. You're going to have waves. It's just going to happen. And you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
I will also say that with every consult you have, and you're trying to think about, what's potentially going to close, what's not. I would just say, at least for me, I guess roughly 20%, a weighted average of 20%. So we have probably $200,000 of proposals out there of work.
Right.
And I'm going to guess 20% on a weighted average close. So around 40 grand of business.
Yeah. Nice.
When that hits the account, I don't know, but that's kind of just our thought process.
Wow.
And I think that's conservative too.
Yeah.
Because one of those is that 9 crates of documents up there, and that's going to be more than 40 grand by itself.
Sure.
So it's like, that's a very conservative way to think, but it keeps you at peace.
Yeah, totally. Another question I like to ask is in terms of, it does relate to challenges, and it does relate to those days where you wake up as an entrepreneur and you're going, how did I ever get here? How did I ever want to do this? And I saw that Simon Sinek quote on the wall earlier, and I love him and been exposed to his book, Start With Why. How would you describe your why? What gets you out of bed in the morning as it relates to, I don't know, all of life, but especially your journey as an entrepreneur now,
My answer is not going to be a very wholesome one. Sorry to preface, but
come on, bring it.
A lot of people say, I do this for my family, I do this for God, I do this for etc. I think inherently I'm just a very greedy person. And we talked about earlier the money thing. Like, the money that we generate and make, I'm not really going to spend. I'm just going to reinvest it for growth.
Sure.
Whatever's fueling that is why I do what I do. I was talking to my wife about this. You know how you were an employee and you were like, oh my God, I'm so excited to go on this vacation because I'm ready to get out of work and go somewhere and do something else. Right. I wake up every morning. If I get to work early, I'm ecstatic. I love being here. I love being here. I leave at 5:30, and I'm excited to come back the next day. Sometimes I do some scheduling of emails the night before. I don't know if that's going to lead to burnout. That's a different conversation. Sure. Right. But I just really enjoy what I do. And there's a guy named Pete Conway. He owns the Max Event Center here. Okay. He said, when people follow their passions, that's just a lot of BS. What you should do is find something you're really good at, and the passion will come.
I've heard that.
And I completely agree. I found something I'm really good at, and that is where the passion has come from. So I don't know if that's from greed. I don't think so, because I'm not spending the money. I'm also not a hoarder. I give. So I don't know what that's
You're also you're also a realist, though. I mean, every entrepreneur on some level, I feel like, if they're willing to really grind it out and they want to build something great, I mean, there's certainly financial incentive in that. If not financial incentive, it's buying back your time. Also, by the way, you need to read that book, Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell. I told you about that already, but I'm not promoting him. Well, I guess I am, but
he has a referral link in the description.
I have no referral to Dan Martell. But gosh, he's good. I think it's interesting. You talk to the financial incentive. You talk to the following what you're really good at. The hardwiring there that you've kind of found a match, and your passion is following that. There's still got to be something though underneath the surface that is like that you find the most satisfying about your job. Like, what is the most? Is it helping people? Is it like the organization side of things? Like, oh gosh, I really just love to like make something, like an engineer would think, like, I really love to make this business work really efficiently. It's like, it's all about efficiency for you, or it's all about providing a space for other people to grow. Some people are like really motivated by like their employees and what they're giving to their employees. Would you have a sense for at this stage what deeper underneath that would be for you?
There's a couple different things. I mean, Austin, he taught for a year high school math at Maumelle, and that's a rough job.
Right.
So Alex Ramosi tells us to make your offer at the time of most desperation. So in May, I call him and I say, how much would it take for you to come work with me? He gives me a price, and I'm like, sure, let's add 10 grand to that, and we'll call it good.
Right.
Because what you asked for is way too low for what you can do. And so there is an aspect of just giving people and helping people. Nick, I mean, where he was working at previously, they're not going to let him work part-time on an hourly basis and stay for the exams and go to the gym in the middle of the day and offer all the flexibility. So there's that too. I am a big, efficient person, so much so that it can cause issues in marriage.
I believe it.
I don't know if that'll be an issue for you, but it has been for me.
Yeah.
I think I just want to be the best.
Yeah.
Is really what it is.
Okay.
And so whenever I look at firms like your previous employment, Connor and Sarton, there's nothing wrong with what they've done, and I don't know what their goals are, but I just know it could be a lot better.
Sure, right.
If they implemented some systems, implemented some tech, and it doesn't allow them to be the best that they can be.
Right.
So I just want to be the best.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so if you were to speak to a CPA coming up through the ranks, maybe he's at the end of his school, maybe he or she studying for their exams. They're looking at their different options going out into the world there's very few of them these days, seems like, the stats I hear. Hopefully more and more. Hopefully there's an inspiration toward that, especially hearing results like you're talking about and like the opportunity that's in the market right now. But
it's insane.
It is, and I want to do a whole nother podcast at some point on that. We have not touched the surface of what we could talk about there today. But what would you say to them in terms of evaluating the question of getting experience first? If they are entrepreneurial, like starting their own firm and what the path should look like toward that. Obviously, I know life happens, and in your story, it's like life happened. You got married, you had a kid, you for various reasons had to part ways with your other job. You were like, let's go, it's do or die, It may not happen like that for everyone. But as you reflect on that experience, what's counsel that comes to mind? How would you say, or what would you say if there's a new grad sitting in front of you?
Well, I'd ask them what end is in mind before they start. My end in mind was not where I'm at, so it doesn't really matter what they say. But it gives them a direction to take. I remember when I was in college, I told our professor at AIS, I won't say who, I wanted to specialize in real estate taxation. And she said, oh, that's ridiculous. How can you have a job that's all you do? And I would say, go look at Ryan Bach, or whatever how you pronounce his last name. He's really popular. He does podcasts. And do you know who I'm talking about? He built the firm from 2019 to now it's worth like over $4 million or $5 million.
All right.
Yeah, so go Professor, go and listen and look at him. Because that's about the same time I said that.
What about is it Nate Sosa or is it, I forget, there's someone else, Hall CPAs. You familiar with them on LinkedIn? They do only real estate as well, I think.
And then you got Tooth and Coin, who specialize in dentists, and I think they're in Little Rock.
Wow.
But anyway, all that to say, the niching thing, it works. To build business fast early, you can't do that because you need money.
Right.
So you need people.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yes, and so we took on some clients that we probably shouldn't have taken on. But all that to say, if I'm looking at somebody out of college, which is only 2 to 3 years younger than me, so what God-found knowledge am I going to have to impart on this person? I would say running a CPA firm is hard. so you should have some more respect for your boss. But also, if that's something you want to do, go work at a really small firm. Fair & Company was small enough to where you can see the front side, the back side, everything in the middle. Connor & Sarton's even smaller, so you can probably see everything there. But go work at a smaller firm. Working at Big Four, you're going to get some big experience. Not super applicable to the clients that you're going to get, you know, unless you're wanting to build something really huge, which would be really hard and take a lot of time. But I'd say that. I'd also question how important is work-life balance. And we interviewed probably 5 people for an internship position here. That's the role that Nick stepped into. It is not that anymore, but when interviewing, you know, we have a lot different interview process than most people probably do. We have a type form where we say, rank the top 5 things about your work environment that you want. Rank the top 5 things that are most important to you. How much you're paid, what your work environment is, like, are you surrounded by ethical people, your exposure to different projects, things like that. Well, in the beginning, one of the questions is like, where do you want to be? Do you want to clock in, clock out? Do you want to own a CPA firm? Do you want this? Well, we had somebody say they want to clock in, clock out. And then we had somebody, the same person, say the most important thing is how much money they can make. It's like, well, you have 2 competing different thoughts here.
Right.
And if you try to do both, you're going to lose both.
Yeah.
So I would say that's important to communicate to people. I guess not everybody has those things connected in their brain.
Totally.
But anyway, I'd also tell people to do what they're good at. Even if the passion's not there, it'll come. And if it doesn't, then I'm wrong. Which is okay.
We're all learning around here for sure. Yeah. No, that's great. I'd love to give people a snapshot before we end today. Give people a snapshot of kind of your business, your ideal client profile, who you serve, what needs you meet, like basically your pitch. Like what if you were going to talk to a prospective client or kind of put it out there into the world of like, here's who we are at Zee Barfoot CPAs in Conway, Arkansas. Who are you looking for? What would you say to prospective clients right now? How can people get in touch with you? I mean, we'll get there too. But.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I don't have I know I probably should, but I don't have a pitch. Usually the people that come to us are like in desperation. Right. So they're like, please God help me.
That much. Yeah, right.
Like, I've had 2 people say, why should we use you instead of so-and-so? And I said, well, you're talking to me, and you probably haven't talked to so-and-so because you can't get in contact with them. So that's one reason, but also nobody's ever asked me that, so I don't know how to answer you. Sorry, I don't really compete.
No, yeah, that's understandable. I will say, Zee is known on LinkedIn. If you find him on LinkedIn, he's known as the CPA that answers your emails. So that, in a sense, that is a pitch, I would say. Like that is something, unfortunately, that differentiates Zee from the market right now, because there's so many that don't, and there's so many who feel so disconnected from their CPA. You know,
I will say,
you primarily do tax, like so that's
we don't do
something to underscore. You know,
we don't really do advisory services. We do a little bit of bookkeeping. Not everybody wants to pay a CPA to do their bookkeeping. Right. I get that, but some people care about it, and some people don't want to outsource to the Philippines. Different question, different story. Different time to talk about that. But we don't outsource work. We do it here. The levels of specialization, I'm in the real estate side along with the investment advisory side of things. I don't do investment advisory anymore. I am licensed, but my largest client on my AUM is my grandmother, and the second one is me. So I don't really do that. I don't have time to commit to something like that. Running a CPA firm is a full-time job, unless you're Erica Goody. And so she runs a like $250,000 firm with
I think I've seen
20 hours a week or something.
Yeah.
But outside of that, Austin has a couple different specializations.
Okay.
He's getting his CVA, so he does valuation, merger and acquisition things.
Very cool.
Yeah, something I would hate to do.
Totally.
I don't like 754. Anyway, he's also really good at tax research.
Okay.
So Laura Hanlon, have you heard of her firm in Conway? her, some accountants at Fair and Company, a couple other accountants other places, they will ask him to do research on topics that they don't know.
Wow.
And which is crazy because he's like 26.
It's awesome.
And people rely on him. But it just goes to show that if you're young and ambitious and you can figure out how to do something, whether that's, you know, writing letters to the IRS, which he takes care of ours, or research, there is a way to monetize it.
Totally.
Yeah, mergers and acquisitions, multi-state venture. He also does, he's the dead person guy. So if you have a state in trust, he's the one to go to.
Note to self.
He's a dead person guy.
Okay.
So
no, that's fantastic. So how do people get in touch with you if they're in this area? And also, I mean, would you take clients out of state? I mean, we've talked. I know you do several clients in other states.
Yeah, we have like 14 different states that we follow right now.
Okay.
So, and depending if that Frost client closes, it could be like 40.
Okay.
So you don't really know.
Right.
But yeah, so our website is pretty simple. We don't try to make things complicated. So it has a checklist of what are things that you're looking for if you want to work with us. We're not super complicated. We email you back. We have things that we don't do on there as well with big red X's on it, so it's really easy to understand.
Nice.
And then it has a brief description of us. All along that website will be a place to fill out a form and give us about 10 answers to some questions, and then a link to schedule. It's really easy. And I think my personal phone number is out there on Google, so I'll probably take that down soon, eventually. But
and y'all are working with how many clients right now?
So we're about 180 for 2025, but we also have 20 people signed up for 2026.
Okay.
So around 200, but nobody knows who we are yet. So that's a different conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm actually scared. That's one of the things I'm afraid of for next year is the influx of people, because nobody knew who I was in January of 2025, and still people don't know who we are.
Right.
And so we're paying for paid ads and all that stuff, but yeah.
It might be the tsunami. That's what could happen.
Well, that could be good and bad.
Right.
It's hard to hire people in March.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, HR
hires.
This
is another good question. Do you have another drop dead date for clients to come on if they want to file by the deadline?
Yeah, we send that out to our current client list in March.
Like if clients wanted to work with you for this current year taxes and they wanted to get filed by the deadline, like when would they have to?
For 2025 tax.
Yeah. When would they have to?
We have different packages.
Okay.
So
that's right.
If you want to cut the line, I mean, you can drop it off on April 1st and be fine.
Rush fee.
If you want to pay for the bare minimum, the essentials, that's what we call it, then March 1st would be great. Now I understand that there's like brokerage statements and things like that, but
right.
And also, I mean, you upload all your documents electronically and then hit a button and let me know when you've got them all. It's really nice, really easy, because we don't have drop-in hours here. It's appointment only. Right. So,
well, that's awesome, Zee. I really am looking forward to more conversations. There's like so much more we need to cover about the accounting industry and your reflections on that and the concerns that we have, both mutually as CPAs. But it's cool to have another conversation with a fellow CPA. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.